Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. My name is Wesley Hill, and I am an associate professor of New Testament at Western Theological Seminary. It's wonderful to be able to share a few minutes with you in this way. I'd like to read a portion from the New Testament, from the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 2, beginning in verse 10. The writer says this: "It was fitting that God, for whom and through whom all things exist, in bringing many children to glory, should make the pioneer of their salvation perfect through sufferings. For the one who sanctifies and those who are sanctified all have one Father. For this reason, Jesus is not ashamed to call them brothers and sisters, saying, 'I will proclaim your name to my brothers and sisters. In the midst of the congregation, I will praise you. And again, I will put my trust in him. And again, here am I and the children whom God has given me.'" It's a very striking image that may be a little unfamiliar to many of us. The writer here is picturing us as siblings of Jesus, and we're taking our place alongside Jesus, you might say, in calling out to the one Father that we have in common. It's very striking. I think we're used to thinking of ourselves as Jesus' disciples or Jesus' followers, and that's not wrong, of course. But here the writer wants to emphasize that we share in the sonship of Jesus. Whether we're sons or daughters, we participate in the sonship that Jesus enjoys with the one that he called Father. Isn't that exactly what we see in Jesus' own ministry when his followers come and ask him, "Teach us to pray," like other rabbis teach their followers to pray? Jesus exhorts them to call out to God as Father. He says, "Call God our Father." And this is so striking because, especially in the Gospel of John, we have seen that Jesus has a relationship with God of unique significance, unique closeness. He calls out to God as Father over and over again in the Gospel of John. He refers to God as Father. And it's only at the end of the Gospel, when Jesus appears to Mary Magdalene after he's been raised from the dead, that he mentions our Father. My Father and your Father, he says to her. It's as though she's been drawn into the relationship that he has enjoyed with the Father from all eternity. I think that's a powerful image, that we get to share in Jesus' own relationship to the Father. Rowan Williams, the former Archbishop of Canterbury, said that a lot of times when we think about prayer, the advice that comes is that we should consciously usher ourselves into God's presence. We should picture ourselves standing in the presence of God. And Rowan says that's not necessarily bad advice, but perhaps advice that's a little more helpful and a little more specific is that we should picture ourselves standing in the place of Jesus. You might say piggybacking on Jesus' prayer, sharing in, participating in, having fellowship in the relationship that Jesus the Son enjoys with the Father. And friends, that's the great privilege of the gospel, is that we get to be siblings of Jesus Christ. We get to have the same confidence and boldness that he had in calling out to God. We have the same assurance of favor and goodness from God that Jesus enjoyed. And that's what we're really all about at Western Theological Seminary, is exploring that good news, passing it on, helping students see how to nurture trust in it in the various communities that they will be called into. It's an enormous privilege, and I know you share it with me. And I'm grateful. We're grateful. Thank you so much.